Hi all, today my topic is different ways to expose a column. So what is the need of exposing a column in Pega? Generally all the work instances will be stored in DB. Those which are not exposed will be stored in blob data. The full form of blob is binary large object. In blob the data will be stored in unstructured way. Let me open a clipboard. So in this clipboard if you see there are OTB properties, so and also I created this property, so customer ID, and also there are couple of single page properties which is age and name. Okay, so in this video I'm going to explain how these properties will be exploited, okay, manually. So let me go to DB and I am doing a select query now. Okay, in select query, so if you see there is no customer ID. Let me go with the customer ID. So if you see in Pega page we are having customer ID, right? So let me do a search on customer ID. Try to run now. So it is showing column customer ID doesn't exist because we didn't expose the customer ID, right? That's why it is throwing in an error. That's fine. Now I have created a report definition with this column, this customer ID. I am just recreating the same query with the report definition. If you see, select customer ID with the PYD. Okay, so let me run now. It's taking a lot of time. That's because it is retrieving from blob data, right? Yeah, it can. So the in customer ID here it is showing value, but when we try to run through DB also it is not showing. Why? Because Pega by defaultly it will check whether the column is created or not. If it is not, it will fetch from the blob data. Okay, and also we are having severe and moderate warnings. Let us have a quick review once. So it is showing these properties are not optimized. Which properties? Customer ID and customer info dot customer name, which is this one. Okay, this customer ID didn't optimize, and also in customer info we are having age and name, right? So we are using name. That's why these two are not exposed. It may result in poor performance. That's because whenever the property is not optimized, so Pega will retrieve from blob data, so it is taking too much time. So whenever we are using a property in report definition, Pega recommends to expose the column in DB. Okay, now going to DB, so we are retrieving from report definition where the data will be stored in a database, because this customer ID it is showing it doesn't exist, right? From there it's been pulling the data. So let me go to start now. So if you see here, we got the data. So this is one of the most important interview question. So what is the blob column? So PZ string is the blob column. Here if you see, it is storing in a unstructured way, which is binary data. If you see remaining all columns having some value, it is showing binary data, which is unstructured way. So from here only it is been pulling. So how to read this column? There is a function for to read this column. So what is the function is? Let me go here. Okay, so here there is a function which is PR read from string. Let me give that one. PR read. The property name is the customer ID, which this is So if you see here, property character varying, and also ins key character varying, and storage stream data. Okay, now for this one, the pj ins key is it is asking pj ins key, right? So ins key, which is in our case pj ins key, correct? So let me give pj ins key, and it is asking storage name now. So storage stream data, so which is pzpv stream, which is this name. So pzpv stream, this second, now let me run now. Sorry, I have given wrong. So if you see, now I got. So that's why it is taking lot of time. If it is because we need to read from the blob, right? So that's why Pega recommends to expose a call. So if it is being exposed, we can directly use the property name here, and we can execute the query, because it is storing in the blob data. That's why we need this function. And also if we want to run this one, which is single page one, so we need to give dot customer info dot name. Let me give that way, dot customer info dot name. Let me run once. So it is having null. Okay, so do remember, we need to give dot here, okay, otherwise it won't work. So yeah, there are three types we can expose a property into DB. Optimization wizard, the first one. The second one is database wizard, and the third one is through manually we need to expose the column. So in optimization wizard, we can able to expose both top level and embedded level properties. What does it mean by top level and embedded level properties? So let me open a clipboard for this PYID. So if you see in PY page, there is customer ID. This is top level property. We can expose this one, and also by using optimization wizard, we can also expose single embedded level properties as well. So we can also expose this name and age as well. Okay, so let me show you how we can do it. So this is the top level page, top level property, which is there in work class. So in actions, so there is optimization for reporting. So if you see, it is clearly mentioned it will be going to create a customer ID in a database table, and it is also mentioned the size, which is 32 by default, even though there is nothing in advanced tab. We can also change by changing here. If you want to increase, we can do it by changing here. Okay, so in this video I'm not going to explain about property optimization. So I'm giving the default checks as it is and clicking on next. So this customer ID will be eligible for both the classes, the parent work class and the child class. It has been using both the classes, that's why both the classes is being mentioned here. And click on next. Now these are the instances which will be optimized. So I'm gonna explain about property optimization in next video. Now as of now I'm going to finish. Now the property will be exposed in DB. Now let me check once. Okay, customer ID, and so before we got an error. Now if you see, it's directly showing. Okay, that's because the property has been exposed, and also we can check from the table as well. So the table is PEC ECSA, yeah, this one. So columns, so if you see, the new column is being created here. Okay, and we can go to the report definition. If you see, before there was a error. Okay, so if you see customer ID and both the things is been optimized, there is some error. So when we click again the save, and if you can see one error will be gone. So now if you see, the customer ID error won't be there. That's because whenever we click on save, Pega will check whether the property is being optimized or not. So after checking, we created a new property, right? So in DB, that's why it's not throwing a warning here. Okay, so now we gonna expose this name property as well. Okay, so let me open this customer info. So the customer info is a single page property. In the single page property, we are having name property. Okay, so apart from here, so if you see, this is of data class. So we are embedding that class into this property. Okay, so if you want to expose from here, let me click on expose. Okay, so there is an error because fail to initiate property optimization, unable to perform property optimization of class. That's because the class which we are using here is abstract class. Okay, so that's why it is throwing an error. So how to optimize this property, expose this property? So there is another way. Now as of now, open this one from App Explorer. Now after opening, so expand customer info, which is this property. So now try to right click here. Now try to optimize here, it will work. Okay, that's because here Pega thinks this is the in this class we need to expose a property, this name. So in abstract class it won't work, right? So when we try to do from App Explorer with work class, it will, yeah, that's because it will think we should expose a property from this class. So this is a concrete class, right? So the name property will be exposed under this database. Okay, so let me expose now. So after exposing, I got this one. Now click on next. So the same name property will be eligible for both the things. Now finish. Okay, now check in admin studio whether the property has been created or not. So if you see, the columns are 94. Let me refresh now. So it's been 95. Oh, if you see, a name property is been created with name _1. Why the _1 is been there? Because it's a embedded level property, right? So Pega by defaultly for all embedded level properties it will be created by _1. Okay, so that is the because of that one. So let me give name one and try to, so the value has been getting, so if you see Mali it's been there. So and how it gonna work, so go to App Explorer and open sysadmin, or else open app definition here. So if you see Pega by defaultly it created a external mapping with the customer info dot name, which is this one. Okay, customer info dot name with the property which is being created. So this one Pega only take care of this one. Okay, okay, now we have exposed name property which is embedded property, and we will check report definition before there is a warning, and let me try to save once again and let's see whether the warning is go or not. Okay, it's gone. That's because this property is also been exposed. How it gonna work means, so dot customer dot name, so when we click on save it will check, go to the class definition, and in class definition there is external mapping with the name one, and it gonna check in the DB whether name one property is been there or not. If it's been mentioned, then the warning will be go off. Okay, so that's how Pega will work. Now I'm going to explain the method to through database wizard how we gonna expose a property. So the main disadvantage of database modify wizard is we cannot expose embedded level properties, and also there is no property optimization in this method. So let me go to configure, system, database modify schema. So it is a 5-level step. Now I am going to select Pega data because all the data which is related to work object will be present in Pega data only. Now click on next. Now I am going to give table name which is this one. Let me give test connection. So this one I am going to give ICICI PCICI work. Okay, okay, I got properties. Now click on 105. Okay, now I want to expose a property of gender name, this property, but I couldn't able to find it here. That's because we need to manually mention in the property that this property could be exposed. So where we need to mention, so go to this property, it is in work class, advanced tab. So in column inclusion, go and click on required and do a checking. So go to database and refresh once again. So again we need to select, click on next. PCICI. before it was 105 if you remember, now it's 106. Now if you see gender name is also been there, because in column inclusion we have given required, right? So that's why. So click on gender name and give database create selected columns. So if you see, the column has been created successfully. Now go to the admin studio, database. Now click on again, refresh. Now gender name is already been created. Okay, so that's how we can do. And as I said earlier, for this method column population would be there, and also we cannot expose of embedded level properties. Now I gonna explain how we can manually create a column in DB. So for this property, so let me open this Pega payments. Okay, so I'm going to expose this age property, which is an embedded property. So let me create a column in DB. I'm going to create a column means age. In definition we need to give character. Okay, and click on save. Now the age property is created from DB side. Now we need to manually map this age property with this embed property, which is customer info.age. So where we gonna map that one? So go to class definition and external mapping and give name here age, which is been there here. Okay, which we created just now. Okay, now give here dot customer info dot age. Okay, and click on save. So we initially did changes from Pega from database side, right? So whenever we are doing changes in database side, so we definitely need to resave the data table as well. So go to sysadmin, go to database table, ours is this one, ICICI work. So click on here, resave. So why this one is needed is, so if we don't save, we may see lot of errors whenever we replicating a scenarios. So when you do a save, it will be synced with the DB. So the properties which is been created here will be synced with the Pega properties. Okay, by doing this save. So both class and a database table should be saved. Now let me create a new service case and check in DB whether it's reflecting or not. Okay. So I am giving value as 28. giving 1 2 3 4 and clicking submit. So I'm just taking this ID, go to the database table and I'm clicking queries 51 now. So let me run once. So the value is been populated now. So the age property is been created in DB also. Okay. So let me give a quick recap of what I have explained in this video. So there are three types which we can expose a column in DB. The first one is through optimization wizard. By using this wizard, we can expose both the top level and embedded level properties. And the second one is database model wizard. Through this one, we can expose only top level properties. And the main disadvantage of this wizard is we cannot optimize the properties. And third one is through manual process. Through manual process, we can both expose top level and embedded level properties. In this one also, there is no optimization. We need to do the optimization manually by running an activity. Okay, that's it. Thank you.